And now enjoy a life rich with results on The Rich Life with Anita Rich.
Hello, everyone, and good morning, almost afternoon. I'm Anita Rich, and I'm a host of The Rich Life. I am coming to you live from Sunset Gower, and today is December the 23rd. The year is almost gone, and you guys have been so wonderful and so gracious in welcoming me into your home, your life, your lives. I always forget the exact log on, so I'm going to give it to you first. It's actually www.facebook.com/The Rich Life Radio. Facebook.com/The Rich Life Radio. Yep, The Rich Life Radio. Okay, I either add a word or I take out a word. Please join us. Please like us. Please let us know what you want to hear, what is going to help you. And if there's anything that's inspired you in the past, my goodness, has it been 2 months? My time flies, John. Then let us know that as well. We were thinking, do you guys want to start a book club? Do you want to have a group for single moms? Do you want to have a group for married people? Do you want to have a group for anything else in between? We're here to make a difference in your life. And remember, it's not about the money. It's about how you're going to go down this road. Let me tell you, today I'm beyond excited to have an amazing woman on the show. Her name is Danielle Hoston. Danielle is the managing director of the Keller Williams commercial division. Danielle has a team. Danielle is a mom. Danielle is bright, articulate, brilliant. She's got something she's going to share with us as well because she's decided to take on coaching of a whole different level. And I think what's kind of funny is, because obviously I'm twice her age, is that she was going to have me on her show. And guess what? I've got her on mine first. So this is going to be a really fun, jam-packed day. And it's going to be the last show that I'm recording for this year. And I can remember, it was like yesterday, that it was 2013. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then somebody was reminding me of 2000. Okay, don't ask. I have 3 daughters. They brought over jugs and gallons of water because they said, Mom, the markets aren't going to work properly. Remember, everybody thought that, the cash registers, nothing's going to work, okay, and we're all going to be without anything. Was that almost 14 years ago? I know time flies when you're having fun, and the last 14 years have been pretty good, but not all of my life has been that amazing as these last few years. But the fact that it is now 2014, when I was born, mid 1970s. Oh, love you, John. And so that's what's so amazing about it. And that's exactly what it is when you listen to somebody like me. And whatever your opinions are, first of all, share them with me. Second of all, the truth of the matter is, been there, done that, and figured out a way to get above it or to live with it. Different courses, lots and lots of different ways of getting people into my life to help support what I wanted, and that is to live a happy life. Because a happy life is a rich life. And whether it's going to be affirmations, yoga, visualization. Oh, by the way, I'm on the board of directors for WeSpark. And my darling friend Jen Edwards, I know she mentions it all the time. But WeSpark is a nonprofit cancer support center in the Valley where we have free visualization, Tai Chi, yoga, and everything that you can imagine. And everything that we do it by donations. So we have charity events. I am the co-chair of the Jason Alexander Texas Hold'em poker event. Woo! And I'm not embarrassed to say I am a poker player. Not too bad either. And we do that twice a year. And so stay tuned. We'll let you know. And if you're interested, then shoot me an email. You can shoot it to Anita. Don't shoot me, but you can send it to AnitaIsRich@gmail.com. The website is coming. Remember, I've only been around for 6 weeks or something like that. So the website is coming, and anything and everything that matters to you is what I would love to hear about. If you want me to talk more about a particular subject, if you want me to every week start off with 3 how-tos, how do you live the rich life? Well, one thing would be take a walk every morning. Just take a walk wherever you can, whether it's, and it doesn't matter, you could live anywhere. And if God forbid you're hopeless, take a walk anyways if you don't have a home. But I said hopeless, I meant homeless. But basically, take a walk every morning and just ponder on, wow, I'm here. I can make a difference today. And if you can't make a difference in someone else's life, make a difference in your own. You'll be amazed at what self-care brings as a result. Self-care could be something as simple as, I'm going to have one nutritious meal a day. I'm going to look at somebody who's not eating properly and perhaps invite them to have a nutritious meal. Whatever it is, if you take a minute and get out of your own head and out of what is going on with you, and if you just look around and say, who can I help today? Who can I do something kind for? It will magically open. And nothing, I promise you, nothing feels as good as doing something for somebody who can't do it on their own. So, our dear John is going to now honor us with some amazing music. Please come back because Danielle Hoston is not a guest you'd want to miss. And you wish that you were here. See you soon. Whew. If that didn't get you the way it got me, I'll play it again. No, just kidding. This could not have suited my guest better, who is amazing just the way she is. So say hi to my friend and my guest and your guest, Danielle. Okay. My guests always get a bigger and better applause than me, so I don't know. I'm going to have like some midgets under the table to do that as well. Okay, I never do this because most of you know I don't work off of notes because I always figure I'm going to even be worse than ever before. But I'm going to work off of notes, and in a moment you'll see why. According to popular press, here's what they say. Danielle Hoston, she's a top financial expert and real estate broker and investor. True. She's a managing director for Keller Williams Commercial. Definitely true. She believes in finding win-win solutions for her clients and that every problem has a solution. True. She works tirelessly. I know she does. I had an office across from hers. She works constantly and tirelessly. She's always got a smile on her face. Her biggest career accomplishment is seeing the individual success of the agents she has mentored. Oh my God, they're amazing. You know what? I can't. Let me tell you about the real Danielle Hoston.
Right.
Woo! Okay. Well, I will tell you that my friendship, which I'd like to call, with Danielle started indirectly from business. I had an office. She had an office across from me. But Danielle's the type of girl that she comes in, she kind of nods at you, she goes into her office, and she's as serious as a heart attack. This girl does not talk at the coffee pot. She does not chit-chat. She doesn't do anything. She gets down to business, and she works. And her team sees that, and they work. However, Danielle has a soft spot. And it's called her daughter. And her daughter would be sitting there. Amazing. I've never seen a child this well behaved. And I happen to love kids, and this one's just a doll.
Ooh, she's got you fooled.
So I would go over and, Mom was busy, and I would take a little bit of time to play with something or whatever. And, of course, I had to ask Danielle first because, like I said, she's very serious. Had to make sure it was okay. And the next thing I know is she's calling me auntie. And I almost cried because it was very touching. So tell us a little bit about you and your daughter before I say other things out of school.
Well, let me first say thank you for having me, and thank you for that wonderful intro. I think the only thing that was not true in that statement is that I always have a smile on my face, but I think we'll go with that. We'll go with that. But who am I? I am just like you. And that's what I'm really excited to talk to you about today, because we've been through a lot of similar things and grown our business and our life and our mindset through real estate, which was our industry, but really, kind of just growing personally as people is what made us quote unquote success stories. And so that's what I'm excited about and sharing about today. So I would say for a sum up of me is just basically a good example of if I can do it, anybody can.
And why do you say that?
I've just been through life situations that are not uncommon
Anything
situations.
You can share?
Of course,
like
of course. Well, I'm a single mom. I graduated college really early. I went to UCLA at 16 years old.
Oh my gosh. Gorgeous and brains. How do people live with that? Tough one.
You're going to embarrass me,
But
Anita.
that's the point. That's the point.
And you're probably the only person that can do this.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. That's
Because
a great
I love
shout-out.
Anita, and you're so authentic, so it just makes me like get all misty. Anyway,
Tell us about how you became a single mom.
well, I was my college sweetheart. We were off and on for 7 years,
Wow.
and when I was 23 years old, I was pregnant.
Woohoo!
And during my pregnancy, he was diagnosed with cancer. And when she was 10 weeks old, he passed away.
Oh, I got the shivers.
So I became a single mom at 10 weeks old, very, very young, and very, very broke. And I really didn't want to be the typical single mom story, the sad single mom that was living check to check and always, stressed out and overwhelmed. And so I was really at a crossroads in that time in my life where I had half of me that wanted to be a soap opera star. That's a true story. Did I ever tell you that?
No, I love it.
Half of me was like,
producers, take a look at her. She's amazing.
Wouldn't it be cool to be on a soap opera like just every day and just be over dramatic? So I thought that was fun. And then I also was very interested in real estate, and I had been an accountant at a commercial real estate company. And part of me, I had just gotten my license, so I said, which way do I go? Which way do I go? My family wanted me to be a teacher
Oh, me too.
because I was a mom, and a teacher is respectable, it's stable, and I'm home every day, 3:00 for my little girl.
Oh.
And so
How old is she now?
she's 13.
Oh my goodness, 13.
Believe it or not, and not so sweet and lovable as when you first met her.
Yes, she is, and she's drop dead gorgeous. And Mom, she's cutting the umbilical cord, and you're very good about letting her. We talked about it. Remember?
This is true. This is true. But that sometimes she cuts it a little too viciously. So
Because listen, you're a strong mom, and she wants to make sure that she doesn't get stifled in that. And you know what? You are such an amazing mom, and this is how I know, because when I sat and talked with her, and just the way she talked to me, just the way when kids respond to adults in that very, loving, like, yeah, I know you're an adult and whatever, but in a very loving way, that the parents gave them discipline, gave them rules, and also gave them love. And let me tell you something, she shines that. And if she didn't try to rock the boat, I'd worry that there's something wrong with her and she's going to be a
Right.
doormat.
and how could how could I raise a little girl that doesn't rock the boat?
I know, especially being your daughter.
And then I remind myself of that. My mentor told me a long time ago, I didn't have the greatest of parental motherly figure growing up, but I had my mentor, who I always respected, not only in real estate, but as a parent. And when she was young, I said, what is the number one thing I need to do as a mother? And he said, you have no other worries, he said, except to teach your daughter to be fearless. And that is one thing that I think I've done successfully, even though she's not always, tactful in her approach. But she is definitely fearless.
You can't have it all. And you know what? A child who is fearless will make her way in the world. Think about it,
Right.
Danielle. How many 23-year-olds
Right.
do you personally know that were pregnant, lost a man to cancer, which unfortunately is such a difficult disease? And as you know, I talk about We Spark all the time, because I know all the different people and what they go through and how difficult it is to handle that. So not only did you not have your childhood sweetheart,
Right.
you now had a child who you loved, but you also had to eat. And it is above and beyond. And here you are now with the 13-year-old, 13 years later, I can honestly say, with the 13-year-old with an amazing career. You are the top commercial agent, in the office. You do have a smile on your face. You may be scowling inside, but I got to tell you, I have to pass by your office sometimes to get to mine. And I know when you're busy, because all I get is like a finger, but I get that smile because you have that genuineness, like, I'm working right now.
Right.
And it's one of the challenges in our industry that people don't understand, because we're not like in an office and there's not a boss above us. We are our own boss.
Right.
People have no idea, and they don't understand that, our time is really precious, but you've taught it to them. See, that's the whole thing. And if you can teach that to other agents, to respect you and respect your time, you will never have a problem with your daughter, because that's really what it's about. And you got to walk that talk. You got to
Right.
walk the respect. You've got to really be and embody that which you want other people to be. That's really all that it's about. And so go ahead. Tell me more. Tell me how you get a team that is so, like, I mean, I walk by them, and even when you're not in the office, they're working. Nobody's fooling around. Nobody's chit-chatting. How do you do that, Danielle?
You know, so many of my team members have kind of grown up into full-blown agents now. They're not babies anymore. They're not even teenagers. They're grown-ups. They're building their own teams and going out in the world. So I can't take credit for who they are, but I can say that when I'm building a team and when I'm adding a team member, you know this as well as I do, it's a tremendous investment of your time, your heart, your energy, and all we have is time. You know, we're entrepreneurs. We don't get paid, so we're making investments into people. And I find when I'm making an investment in somebody, of course they have to be smart. Of course they have to be personable. But I really look for what I call the eye of the tiger. Mm-hmm. I want to know why you're going to do this. And when you have those hard days, those hard months, are you going to be pleasant? Are you going to fight back, like to overcome the problem instead of giving up and walking out the door? Because I've made some bad investments in agents where it's somebody they don't really need to make it. They kind of want to make it, think they should make it, think they've got what it takes, but they don't really need to make it. And I think for me, that is what made me make it, is that I needed to.
You got to have the hunger. You know, they talk a lot about in our industry of the big why, but it's even more than that. I think it's even more serious than the big why.
Right.
And why a team versus just doing it on your own?
Because that's actually what's fulfilling for me. It's one thing to go out and make rich people richer. Rich people living the rich life and make them richer. And then there's the competitive element of competing with other brokers, being, you know, one of 20 offers and winning it, and your clients being thrilled. That's great. That's fun. That pays the bills. But for me, building somebody's career and watching them go out in the world and make hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, that huge. To me is the fulfillment. That when I'm seeing them, you know, 2 of my team members are married.
Right.
They
Amazing.
Married, and watching them at the thing, I'm like, wow, this is happening here.
You know, earlier you said that you can't take credit for who they are, and it's true. You can't take credit for who they were, but I certainly, because I've watched them, you can certainly take credit for who they've become. And, you know, it really doesn't matter because, you know, taking credit for something is just being righteous. And I'm fighting so hard in my life to give that up because as a mother and as a wife and as a business person, you know, I always say to people, yeah, okay, I was right. And I walk into Starbucks and I still have to plop $3 down to get a cup of coffee. You know, being right doesn't get me anything. And that's what we forget. You know, we forget like, oh, okay, I'm right. And I look at people, I go, okay, so now what?
Right.
You're right. The buyer walked. Great. You get to keep your property. Great. You know, what did you just prove? But for you, do you also find it gives you more leverage?
Which part?
Having a team?
It definitely gives me more leverage and more time to enjoy my life. There was a time when I envisioned, wow, I can go pick up my daughter every day from school. And that was, I mean, honestly, when I first started, and you know this, first couple of years in the business, it's not a 40-hour work week. It's not a 60-hour work week.
75.
It is literally, I mean, I remember waking up in the middle of the night with my to-do list by my bed, adding things in the middle of in the night
So you could go
during
back to
my
sleep.
dreams. How am I remembering to call this random title officer? I don't know, but that was what I was living and what I was dreaming about, was being able to pick up my daughter every day at 3:00, having Fridays off. And what ended up being beyond my wildest dreams was when I became an investor.
Tell us about that.
Because it's one thing, as you know, you can make fantastic money on commissions.
Right.
But there's no vacation time with commissions. There's no, ongoing pension plan. You have to always work in order to earn those commissions. And then once I started paying attention to the closing statements where I was representing clients who I had sold them the property, and then I'm selling it for them again.
You made this much, they made this
right.
much. What's wrong with this picture?
And I was like, but I found the property. I could have bought this thing. And so I started thinking, okay, well, maybe I should try my hand at investing. And I was actually in escrow on my home. I was 25.
Wow.
And I was in escrow buying my home, and I had a client who said, hey, can you sell this 4-unit for me? And at that time, I was like, I don't sell 4 units. I only sell 10 units and above. But I had thought to myself, okay, 4 units might be something I could buy. Let me go see. And I literally saw it, fell in love with it. This is it. This is my first little apartment building. And I bought it. And it drove me crazy for a little bit because I had to learn to be a landlord.
Oh, yeah.
Which is its own set of problems. It's different from the problems of a broker, but it's being a landlord. And when I did that, I kind of rode the market up, finally started cash flowing and rode the market as it went up and sold it for twice as much as I bought it for.
Good girl.
So I went from...
All right.
I get high fives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know.
We went from $425 and I sold it for $850.
Beautiful.
Bought a 16 unit, and then kind of from there, I just started making partnerships, buying things on my own. And now it's, the first of the month is the best day of the month there is. So
let me ask you a question. So you had, you went from giving birth to a child.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I think first you got a job being an accountant.
Well, no, I had that job when I was pregnant.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So I was on maternity leave.
Oh my gosh.
And I came back after her father died.
So how did you the whole point of my show is to have people like you empower anyone and everyone listening. Mm-hmm. And like you said, if I can do it. But, a lot of people say, if I can do it. And to somebody else, out there, if they're looking at you, they're going, yeah, hello, like you're drop dead gorgeous and you wanted to be a soap star. Hello, right. And they don't always hear the struggle. And
right.
I don't want to sit here and dwell on the struggle because that's not what it and I am about. But I still think it's important for people to know, like on those days, like you said, when you're interviewing somebody, you want to know, how do they deal with those bad days? So what was it that kept you from not throwing in the towel? I know having a child and needing to feed a child is in and of itself, a great pull. But what did you do on the days when you're like, okay, I'm 25 with a 2-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, how did you get through that? Okay, I've got to make money, but I got to take care of a child. Like, what was the impetus that kept you going each and every day to be the woman you are today?
That's such a fantastic question. Of course, my daughter's the number one thing. I also had a fantastic mentor who truly believed in me.
Was that a real estate person? Was that an
It was a real estate person. His name is Jonathan Weiss. He was at Marcus & Millichap, which is my first commercial real estate company. I was there for 5 years.
Is he still around?
He is a fantastically wealthy investor. So he's no longer in the business, but he's an artist and an investor, and he's living a fantastic life. I just texted him 2 days ago. So
Jonathan, I thank you because she is amazing. Thanks for being her mentor. Shout out to you.
And he really believed in me, and my first year business plan was $50,000, which I thought, if I can make $50,000 in real estate commissions, I could get a 2-bedroom apartment. I could get a new car that doesn't break down on me every other month. And but I think it's important what you were saying about the struggle, because there are so many hard days. And this is not just unique to us in real estate. This is unique to anybody who's kind of pursuing a dream or overcoming.
Human. Or just human.
Or human. Right, exactly. Anybody who's breathing can relate to that. So it's, when you're doing that type of experience, when you're going through that, I would say that having a great mentor, having a reason, my daughter, but also having within you a desire for me, it was like a desire to not fail. It wasn't even a desire to succeed. I just could not fail.
Got it.
And so I had to keep going. And what happens is along the way, you'll have little baby successes. Mm-hmm. So then you start to realize, okay, maybe I'm better than I think, or maybe I can keep going with this, and then that baby success becomes a medium success, and you keep going and you keep working and staying consistent, and then those successes get bigger, and you still have to take risks and go out on a limb.
You just said it. So you are a powerhouse by any other word. You're a powerhouse. I've heard you on speaking panels, for the company and other speaking panels. I know that you're taking something on, which I'm hoping it's okay to share. You're taking on a new coaching program.
Of course.
And I'd love for you to talk about that because, again, for me, learning is what I want to do until they say, so that I can say, hold on, just like one more thought, before they nail me down. But tell us a little bit about that because I'm so excited and I'm so proud of you as I am of anybody that is not only working as hard as you have for them to become a better, stronger, more positive person, but to share that because to me sharing is what it's all about. So tell us about it.
Well, it's really an extension of the gift that was given to me. And I was mentored amazingly, encouraged amazingly, given tools that I had no access to, not just business building tools, marketing tools, financial advice tools, just everything that you need in order to do this. Because when we're running a real estate company, it's not just about sales. It's about running a business.
Absolutely.
And so I noticed that other real estate agents are fantastic salespeople, but there's some that are just fantastic salespeople. So yes, they get commissions every now and then, but they're never really able to capitalize on that, build a business, leverage themselves, build a team. And so what this program is designed, it's called My Success Project for Real Estate.
My Success Project for Real Estate. With and or by Danielle Hoston?
Yes, and a business building coach, Amy Applebaum, who is fantastic. You would love her. You guys should call her. I'm telling you, she's fantastic. But she's a business...
Erin, I'm keeping you, but she's just talking.
No, as a guest. You want Amy as a guest.
As a guest, yes.
Yes.
Amy, hi.
Amy Applebaum, yes. But she's fantastic, and she's really specializes in business building. So what I do with this program is add the real estate coaching element.
Beautiful.
And I'm really excited because it's particularly geared towards newer agents who are looking to kind of go to the next level. Maybe they're struggling. So these are where we're targeting those agents. And I'm really looking forward to, instead of, having this many agents that are my babies and growing up and building their businesses, is really sharing that and giving the gift that was given to me.
Wow. That's, there's nothing as satisfying as giving back. There's no commission check. There's nothing that can do that for you. So let me ask you, so will you be like coaching and mentoring training?
It's actually all online, so it's nationwide.
Wow.
So we have tools, we have homework, we have calls, we have interviews. Remember, you're coming on?
Absolutely. Whatever you say, I'm there.
Because Anita, and I don't know if people get to know you, outside of your personality, but maybe your accomplishments. Like Anita, you are my favorite residential real estate agent.
Are you serious?
And she does everything. Don't get it twisted.
Aww.
She does everything. But if I were to hire an agent, I would hire Anita.
Thank you.
Auntie Anita.
No,
How could I not
Auntie Anita,
hire?
I mean, come on. Oh, thank you, Danielle. That's very sweet.
And so I just admire so many things about your business. And when they said we're interviewing millionairesses on the coaching program, you were my very first call.
Wow.
I said, I know who the first one I want to do is.
Oh, my gosh. That's really exciting.
So you get some Anita advice, too.
And so how long did it take you to do like a business? Because this is another thing, this is what people don't realize. You didn't wake up one day and say, I'm just going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a full plate and you are still a mom and you are in a relationship with someone I think is drop dead gorgeous, but and sweet and funny, hilarious. We were having a scream around in the parking lot and I wasn't sure who I was talking to. And I said, that's your honey, right? She's like, because we were just being very silly. We get very silly around the office. But all that, you've got so much that you're juggling. I know the business has been great. I know it's really growing. Mm-hmm. And so what was it? I mean, I'm sure it was your coach, but, what did you then do? Did you like sit down, think about it, do a business plan? Like, how does somebody start something new?
Oh, gosh. I think everything starts with vision. And if you've been to my office, I have a vision board. Every year on New Year's Eve, I spend all day on the vision board and I keep things going all the time. So I have a vision board and I really encourage anybody out there to not focus on the how. You don't even need to know the how.
Exactly.
You just need to have to know what your vision is. And my vision became more focused, and this is again thanks to my mentor. He said, it's great. You make money. It's great. You have buildings. That's great. You've got your personal life together. That took a while. So now I have him, and he said, so what is it that you should be focused on now? And I said, I don't know what. And he said, your legacy. And so I thought about, okay, what is it that I want people to say about me? What is it that fulfills me and makes me grow?
Let me write it down because my list here is so long. So in case, okay. Danielle's legacy is?
Oh, boy. To touch as many lives positively as possible. To give the knowledge that has been given to me to others. Particularly the underdog. I kind of viewed myself previously as an underdog, and I want to empower women.
I have to stop you for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So when a person who's as talented and kind and smart as you feels like they're an underdog, does it take years, months, minutes? How do you get out of that mindset? Like, I'm an underdog, or I was, and now I'm not.
Well, stop telling yourself you're an underdog.
Let's start with that. Stop telling yourself you're an underdog. Because I know, I also train, and I know that I say to a lot of people, you're this and you're that. And I also know at the minute it comes out of my mouth that what I say has nothing to do with anything until such time as they believe it.
And they say it to themselves.
Okay, so, and every time you catch yourself being a little less than courteous to yourself, it's that self-talk, and then you just kind of stop yourself and say, no, I'm not an underdog. Because I've said many times, Gary Keller, CEO of our company, says, you can't multitask. And Deepak Chopra says, you can't hold two thoughts in your head at the same time. So you can't say, I'm wonderful and I'm fabulous and I'm a great human being and I'm an underdog in the same sentence. Okay, so how long, and did you catch yourself often?
I still do it.
I'm going to come and hurt you.
I still do it. And you know what? I actually have changed my attitude about that because I said, I've done all of this self-help. I read all these books. I've done this. I've done that. Why do I still say these things to myself? And truthfully, it's wiring. It's from what we come from. It's what voices we're hearing, and letting overtake our daily thoughts. And for me, when I get those negative thoughts, because I get them all the time, I just let them pass. And I go, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? I would say something so negative to myself, about myself.
But you know what? That is what consciousness is.
Being aware.
Yeah. And that is, and people say, well, like my generation, of course, you can imagine my mother, and, God love her, she's 83 and she's around. And my mother will always say things to me like, why would you expect someone to be any different? This is just who they are. This is how they were raised. Or this is whatever it is. And I go, Mom, but you can change who you are. You can't change who I am. I can't change who you are. But I can change who I am simply via my thoughts of, no, I don't want to be that person. So, no, I don't want to think that way. No, I don't want to feel like, well, if I did it, you can do it. Because it's not about that. Because somebody else is doing superb things, way superior to anything I'm doing. And it doesn't mean that I can just go ahead and do it tomorrow, unless I choose and I dedicate myself and I say, okay, what did it take? So from you, I get the idea of stop telling that to yourself. So when I tell myself something like, all right, you're too old. You still want to do this, and you can't get it through your head that your time's come and gone. You should have done that 20 years ago. To say, stop. No, I'm not going to fly a plane because my eyesight's not good enough. But I can do anything I want to do, including this radio show.
Right.
I can do anything I want to do simply by being willing and stop telling myself that I can't.
And having some vision.
And,
when opportunities come up, you take those opportunities.
What did they say?
Jump on it.
When opportunity meets preparedness,
success.
There you go.
There it is.
So you did that. So what else do you feel? Because you had to have the courage to say, look, an underdog does not buy a piece of property at 25. Sorry, wrong answer.
Oh, and you're going. That I'm so glad you brought that up because there's so many people that are going to jump on your little dream and squash it. It's very rare to find, I always say there's two types of people in the world, dream killers and dream builders.
Wow.
And it's very rare that you are surrounded by dream builders.
Right.
So you have to kind of seek those people out, seek out the Anita Riches of the world. Because if I said to you tomorrow, Anita, I think I want to run for president,
I'd probably find a whole bunch of people
you
to give you money.
would probably do it.
Are you
Dream
serious?
builder.
Are you
No,
serious?
absolutely not. I'm not old enough yet.
All right.
But maybe,
Okay.
after 45 rolls around, maybe I will. Who knows? But if that was my vision, I know that I could go to you and embrace that. I was not surrounded by dream builders. I was surrounded by some somewhat dream killers. And those people are well-meaning people, but they have not fulfilled their own dreams, so they can't see that somebody else could.
And you know what else it is? It's a very interesting thing. People who are really close, like mothers, fathers, aunts, and uncles, this is what I've learned in the past 5 years. Sometimes they become dream killers because it's exactly what you said, but even taking it one step further, they have not been able to fulfill their own dreams. So they feel like they failed. And they actually love you enough where they don't want you to be hurt by the failure,
Right.
because it's just unimaginable to them that you could actually do that. So they come to you from that, I'm not going to say false love, because for them it's very real, but they come to you with that, well, that can never happen. I mean, you're just Danielle. Like how are you going to do this?
But it's all fear.
Exactly.
All of that is fear. And that's their fear, coming into your world. So when I was buying my house and my investment property, and trust me, I did not sleep at night because I was thinking, am I crazy? Am I doing too much right now? Even though the numbers, everything looked good on paper, it just, to me, who's done this? I don't even have anybody in my family that's done anything like this. So am I crazy? And then I was surrounded by people who were older than me, wiser than me, saying, yes, you are crazy. Oh, it's the top of the market. Thank God I didn't listen to them.
Oh my goodness.
So all of these things, if you're enable yourself to really believe in yourself and say, okay, if I screw up, if I fail, oh well,
yeah,
at least I tried.
Yeah.
And so that was, for me, there was part of that was just the I don't care, at least I'm trying type of thing.
Are you a very, very organized person?
Hell no.
Are you kidding?
No, I have a very, very organized assistant.
Oh my gosh. And what about wow, that just it shocks me because you're always so put together and presentable. Okay, so you're not a very, very organized person. So are you always looking for something new to do? Like what is it that really gets you out of bed besides that you love what you're doing and all of that? Like what is it that you would say to yourself in the morning? Because it's been how many years now that you've done real estate?
12.
That's amazing. 12 and she's 12, 24. Okay. So what is it that you say to yourself to keep it fresh and exciting? Because we all know that we're the ones responsible for that.
Well, it's not always fresh and exciting, and that's okay. Sometimes it's just doing the things that you're supposed to do every single day.
Right.
To build your business. And that's not always going to be fresh and exciting.
Are you consistent?
I am consistent and working on it.
All right.
I'm not going to speak anything bad on myself, but
No,
I
I
am
won't let
always
you.
working on and I'm always working on being more consistent. But that was a very big struggle early in my career. Huge struggle.
And what's the definition of fear? False
What is it?
evidence
Appearing real. Yes.
Woo! False evidence appearing real. And it is so dominant for so many people. Like somebody will say to me, and then my coach, I have two coaches, and one of my coaches, Brian Buffini, always says, if you set up a worry, it's setting up a negative goal. And I'm thinking, how so? And if you say, if you're going to climb on that chair, you're going to fall. Mm-hmm. So you're setting up the goal of them falling because you're already setting up that that's what's going to happen.
Right.
And they haven't even gone near the chair. They may never climb up on that chair.
And not everybody falls.
And not everybody falls. And so it all goes so hand in hand. All these things that we talk about, they all go so hand in hand. So it really goes back to being willing, wanting to do it, finding the passion, finding the victory. And I wonder if you do this. One of the things I was told not that long ago is I need to celebrate my victories.
Yes.
Do you do that?
I absolutely celebrate my victories. And I will say this, because just bringing up about falling. What's so bad about a fall? It's from a chair. And I will say, out of all of have I had countless failures? Yes. Have I missed out on deals? Absolutely. Did I learn a lesson? Yes. So was it a failure? No, it was a lesson that needed to be learned. And I'm okay with missing out on that one commission because it won't happen again as long as I'm learning. And I've made, out of maybe 15 properties I've purchased, I have made 2 bad ones.
Oh, please.
I am okay.
Oh,
if there's
my
any
gosh.
sports fans listening, I am okay with a 2 for 13, 13 wins and 2 losses. That to me is like a Super Bowl win. So I'm okay with falling sometimes. And I think you have to be okay with falling, because that's what will get people off track, is if they're not okay with the fall, and then all of a sudden it becomes about the fall instead of what did you learn about climbing that chair.
When are you going to do investor seminars?
I should do them. I have to add
but
that to the list.
Excuse me.
But I'll put it on my vision board.
I mean, really should. It's like I'm doing them. I just don't know the date yet. No.
Right. They're already in motion.
There you go. Because you know what? It's very inspiring. Like if I got up in front of a Donald Trump, and I mean, if he was having a good hair day, then I'd probably listen to him and I would take him seriously. I know I'm horrible, Donald. I mean, I'll never have what you have. But if I got up in front of him, I would make up all kinds of stories about, he's older, whatever. But if I sat in front of someone like you talking about your investments, I'm not kidding, Danielle. You have built-in instant credibility. Use it. Like I have very sweet, smart, some of them are really gorgeous, attractive women on my team. Some of them are, like me, we're cute, we're average, whatever. But you know what? I'm always pimping them out. And I always say... Oh, that's not. We're on radio, right? Okay. But I'm always saying to them, here's the deal: if you're nice looking or look presentable, you'll get in the door. But you better have that information between the ears to keep you there. And so, if you've got that kind of built-in instant credibility, why not use it to your benefit? Like with me, people love working with me because I know my stuff. Mm-hmm. I know my stuff. I'm a fierce negotiator, and I always make sure everything's a win-win, just like you. So that is the reason that somebody will work with me. But someone like you who still looks like you're 25 and can do all of that and have a daughter and have all of those things, behind you, at the end of the day, use that for investors, because you do care about giving back. And that is one of the hugest, is that a word?
We'll go with it.
More huge?
I think hugest is the word.
Okay, fine. Hugest is now a word. I just declared it, and Danielle said, and anybody, everybody said
we know what
I.
you mean.
Okay, fine. But it really is one of the best things you could do is to take these investors and share some of the stuff with them. And I've gone to a couple of these kind of meetings, and here's what I found. I found an investor who had a lot of money, and a new investor who was a little bit more afraid, who really didn't know what they were doing. The two of them would get together. The new investor, who was a little bit more doubtful, would do a little bit more research. The other investor was, it was like you said, they didn't care because it was a numbers game. And the two of them would build such an amazing team. And, of course, you're their realtor. So, you're their broker. But it also allowed this person to be mentioned by that person who, without maybe you pulling them together in a venue, would never meet.
Or and get that confidence to continue to purchase and mentoring and things like that. Yeah.
And so it's a huge thing. And I don't really see enough people doing it. I see a lot of investment, clubs out there, and they're just doing it to benefit themselves. I have yet to see one that is really there for the people involved. I really have yet to see one. I've seen a lot of first-time buyer seminars that were really terrific. Mm-hmm. I've actually done a few of those with some of my lenders, and that was great. But I think, like you said, investment is the way to go. A lot of people can make $100,000, maybe even $500,000. But how many people can save it? When you buy something, you sell it, and now someone's giving you a check for that amount of money. That money is as though you saved it. And that's huge.
And there's one thing for having to work for your active income. My rent checks come no matter what the hell I'm doing on the first.
Absolutely.
So I don't have to go work for that. I've already worked for it, and I'm having my money work for me. And that, to me, when the market went down, when commissions weren't the same, I was okay because I had other investments going on and I had other money coming in. So that, to me, saved my life. And for all women, especially single women, because I find that so many single women wait for they're Prince Charming to come along and
Absolutely.
ride off in the sunset, buy their house, make their investments, and we all know that that's not statistically what's going to happen.
No, because you know what? A lot of women now are doing as much, if not more, than guys, and
And getting married later.
And there's nothing wrong with that, So as we wrap up, anything else you want to say for the good of the universe, especially since it's going to be Christmas in 2 days?
Oh, yes. I think the one thing that keeps me sane on bad days is gratitude.
Wow.
So no matter how bad your day is, you have something to be thankful for. So remember that, especially when the holidays come around, especially when your family is coming around. Just remember everything you have to be grateful for, and have a wonderful holiday season and get ready for 2014.
I know. And I'm just really, really grateful that you have taken your time, because I know how insane this is. And I know how, you weren't sure if you were going to be around or if you would have the time. And you took the time and you're here. And I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful for you, Anita.
Thank you. Well, follow Danielle on www.hostonassociates.com and follow me and comment on the show, please, on my Facebook page, www.facebook.com/The Rich Life Radio. And until we meet again, I hope you have an amazing New Year. Love you, mean it. See you soon.